I never planned to be a full-time caregiver. But when my mother turned 87, everything changed. She needed someone, and I knew there wasn't anyone else. So I packed up my life in Manhattan and moved into the house I'd bought just outside the city, a quieter place, perfect for her recovery and final years. My apartment in Manhattan, beautifully furnished and well located, would become my new source of income. Enter Jane. Jane Smith. Middle-aged. Polite. Well-spoken. A soft accent from Queensland, Australia. She seemed exactly like the kind of tenant you'd hope for. Quiet, clean, responsible. She said she'd owned a home for 30 years, which explained her lack of landlord references. She had a decent job, met all the income requirements, and her references spoke highly of her. I was cautious, sure, but she passed every check. So, I handed over the keys. That moment still haunts me. 7 months into her lease, the payments stopped. No warning. No apology. Just silence. At first, I thought, maybe it's a mistake. A missed auto payment. Life happens, right? But my calls? Ignored. My emails? Left unread. Letters? Sent, but no response. Days turned to weeks. Weeks into months. Each passing day was a slap in the face. I had walked away from my old life to take care of my mother. I was living paycheck to paycheck, relying on that rent to keep us afloat. And here was Jane, sipping her wine, ignoring every message, living rent-free in my apartment like she owned it. The rage. It wasn't loud. It was quiet, cold, heavy. The kind that sinks into your bones and whispers, "You've been used." I took her to housing court. Finally got the eviction. When I walked into the apartment after she left, I almost dropped to my knees. The place looked like it hadn't been cleaned in months. The sofas were stained beyond recognition. A microwave smashed like someone had taken a bat to it. Trash everywhere. The air was thick with the sour smell of decay. She hadn't just skipped rent, she had treated my home like a landfill. I filed a claim in small claims court for damages. Over $7,000 in destruction and another $16,000 in unpaid rent. But you know what Jane did? Nothing. Didn't show up. Didn't answer. She vanished, fled the country, back to Australia like this was some kind of game. Like I was just another fool she'd conned. She thought distance would protect her. That's when I stopped being the nice landlord and started being the storm. Jane Smith had one major problem. A very unique name. Not exactly the kind you can hide behind a fake LinkedIn profile. No aliases. No anonymity. So, I did what any tech-savvy, pissed-off landlord would do. I bought her domain name. And on that site, I told the truth. No exaggerations. No slander. Just cold, hard facts. Scanned copies of the court judgments she ignored. Photos of the apartment before and after. A full breakdown of what she owed me. Eviction notices. Her public social media photo. And just for good measure, I included a little section about her job and her hobby, bridge tournaments at her local Queensland club. All public info, all factual. I focused hard on SEO, Search engine optimization. I made sure that when you Googled her name, this site was the first result. And then I waited. The first time I checked the website analytics, I laughed out loud. Her employer had visited. A few weeks later, I got an anonymous email from someone who'd seen her at a professional conference. "Thought you'd like to know where she is," they wrote. Attached. A photo. Her name tag. Her face. A real-time confirmation that the site was doing exactly what it was designed to do. Follow her like a digital ghost. Then came the messages from people who had written letters of reference for her when she applied to rent from me. They were shocked, embarrassed, angry that she used their names and reputations to commit what was essentially a financial hit and run. I didn't ask them to take action. I didn't need to. Just shining a light on what she did was enough. It's been 3 years now. The website is still live. Still #1 on Google. Still getting regular traffic. And I still own the domain, johnesmith.com. It costs me a little money every year to keep it running. Hosting fees. Maintenance. But the emotional ROI? Because Jane thought she was untouchable. That she could burn me for $23,000 and just disappear into the outback. But now, every employer who Googles her sees the truth. Every landlord she tries to rent from gets a front-row seat to what she really is. And any date she goes on, a quick online search and bam, they're looking at eviction notices, court judgments, and trash-strewn photos of the real Jane Smith. She saved herself $20,000 in rent. But it's costing her far more in reputation, opportunity, and credibility. And that, my friend, is what justice looks like in the 21st century.